propose a scenario, like how can we get rich in crypto and buy a Lambo and it makes sense?
Well, let's plan it out with the game that we just played. Let's say that we use that same 300,000 to be able to acquire an asset that gives us cash flow for $1,500 after expenses. How much is a payment on Lambo? Let's call it, for the sake of this conversation, because I don't know, $1,500 a month. Always have your passive income pay for your expenses. Have you achieved that then? Now that you've added a Lambo into your life and you have a loan or a lease payment, because I would only recommend for you to actually lease it because it's not over 6,000 pounds. So therefore, I would only, that it makes sense for deductibility purposes for your business to actually lease a vehicle at $1,500. So if I have $1,500 payment and I have passive income coming in at $1,500, did I make the wrong decision? No. My passive income is paying for the expenses. So therefore, I have achieved what I wanted on the financial freedom, which is total amount of expenses with passive income to be matched up. And I'm not using any of my money to be able to purchase that asset. Well, in this case, I'm going to call the car a liability, even though it's considered technically an asset. But for the sake of this conversation, it's something that it doesn't give us positive cash flow. So for us to buy a Lambo, we have to make a couple moves. We have to look for assets that are going to give us that cash flow that then will pay for that monthly payment of the Lambo.
Amazing. Yeah. I mean, hear that, everyone who's dreaming of Lambos on the moon. If we moon, you can have a Lambo and it can make sense depending on your cash flow situation and passive income. You set yourself up.
We have to get rid of this mentality of only wanting to buy the Lambo for the picture and then upload it and be like, for the flex. And then you're going to be completely unfulfilled in your life because now you have depleted your cash for the satisfaction of tons of people on the internet that don't even care about you, or that you don't even care about, or that you don't even know. Is literally, you have to recognize and be aware of why is it that you're doing that, you know? And once you recognize that and you let go of that and you work out on your mental health, your emotional intelligence, and you're able to really handle those situations correctly, you're going to be able to let go of that immediate need to be liked or accepted by people in the internet.
Could you write off the Lambo if you use it to take pictures for outrage marketing?
For pictures of what?
For outrage marketing, to somehow, like, for a business. I'm trying to think of like how could you like buy a Lambo to literally take pictures for it and it makes sense in a business context?
I mean, it has to be, there has to be a good argument for it. I have a client that has a clothing company and they bought a Lambo, and the way that they use it is for, he has basically the vehicle for all the athletes that he has partnerships with, and he basically lets them have the Lambo, and he also uses it for all the photo shoots that they have on their clothing. The asset is not used for personal use at all. It's all 100% business. So therefore, once you collect evidence that you're able to do that, I mean, then you can write off the vehicle such as a Lambo. But you got to be very careful about it because, I mean, it could be a frivolous expense if you are not careful on how you structure it. So there are some risks if you are just flexing it for personal purposes and you're not really using it for business. It has to be 100% for business use.
Gotcha. Well, nobody asked that question, but I'm like, you know what? We're talking about Lambos today, so let's get it in. Let's talk about the logistics around that.
Yeah, I mean, at a certain point, if you're getting a Lambo, I mean, yeah, you may want to write it up, but at that point that you could actually afford it, you don't really care whether you're making it deductible or not. You know, it's just like, I have enough passive income coming in. I have cost segregation studies in all my properties. I'm paying 0 taxes already. Do I care about a Lambo write-off? Probably not.